catastrophe, and then we say, now where is God? And we blow him off. Week after week, day after day. We're not in his word. We do not spend time with him. We do not develop that love relationship, and that's why it is so easy for us to choose for ourselves. You really want to bring honor to God, don't you? I think that you do, or you wouldn't be here. You wouldn't be listening to this message. You'd have tuned me out long ago. You really, really down deep do want to bring honor to God in the months and years that he gives us to live upon planet Earth. I want you to know something, that the way in which we ascribe worth to God is to face tough decisions and choose in his favor, by his grace, and by yieldedness, as the choir sang a few moments ago, being all that he wants us to be, no matter what the cost is. And to simply say, God, I want to learn to love you so much that my own desires are going to take second place. And in loving you that much, I'm doing something good for myself. Now, can you believe God to that extent? You see, the reason that temptation has so much power is temptation says to me that if I follow my own desires, I will be made happy. I will be satisfied. If temptation never said that to me, it would have no power over me at all. But that's exactly what temptation says to us. Are you willing to call its bluff and to say it's a lie? When I choose God, that is the infinite sense of satisfaction. And when we choose the pleasures that are on his right hand, we delight ourselves in God. Those decisions will become so much easier. We say to ourselves, yes, I want to please God, and yes, also I would like to become a worshiper of God. And so we attend a worship service, and we here at the Moody Church have a worship committee, and we gather together every week and we plan our morning services and our evening services because we want people to worship God, and we choose hymns that enable us to worship God. I understand that, and I hope that worship takes place. But I want you to know something, that worship means ascribing worth to God, and true worship can only happen at great cost. Great cost. Talk is cheap. One day God says, Abraham, sacrifice your son, please. And Abraham says, okay, I've got 2 sons. I'm going to sacrifice Ishmael. The Lord said, no. He said, your only son, the one that I regard, take Isaac, take him to a mountain and sacrifice him. I'll bet he never told Sarah what he was going to do, but he got up early and he left and took a 3-day journey. I would like to hear the conversation between Abraham and his boy en route to Mount Moriah. But interestingly, at the bottom of the mount, this is what Abraham says to the person who was there with the donkey and a servant. He said, you stay here because the lad and I are going to go yonder to the top of the hill and we're going to worship. Amazing worship, Abraham. You're going to kill your boy. Abraham said, I know. And that's what worship is. Worship is loving God so much that there is no relationship, there is no temptation, there is no sin that means as much to me as God. And that's what God is all about in the lives of believers today. Training us to love him so much that angels and demons and men will be able to look at us and say, there are still some people in the world who love God so much that nothing else matters. And that's what he's about in today's world. And then, of course, you know the rest of the story. The Lord came and wouldn't let Abraham kill his boy, and the ram was sacrificed in his place. But interestingly, think of the new revelation of God that Abraham had when he came down Mount Moriah. Jehovah Jireh, the Lord will provide. Because every time you and I value God so highly that we choose him no matter what, he is glorified and we have worshipped. We have ascribed worth to him. And every time I choose to sin deliberately, just blow God off, I fail to ascribe worth to him. I lower him and say, he really doesn't make much difference in my life. Now let me ask you today, are you letting God develop that love that is so strong that it enables you and me to make those right decisions? Or are you rebelling against God? You're rebelling against circumstances. You're rebelling against temptation. You're rebelling against all of the pressures of life, and you're saying no to God. God says today, open your life to me. Learn to love me so much that you'll be able to say yes to me, no matter the cost.
Oh, I hope that all of us today can say yes to God, no matter the cost. You know, the older I get, the more I realize that it is God who works in us, both to will and to do of His own good pleasure. But you and I do have the responsibility of allowing Him to do that. Let's allow the Holy Spirit who has been given to us to speak to us. May we listen to that voice, and may we respond to God accordingly. This is Pastor Lutzer thanking you for tuning in this time, and be sure to join us again as we continue this series of messages.
That was Dr. Erwin Lutzer concluding Souls in Conflict, part of his series on What is God Up To? Many believe the stage is set for the last act in Earth's history. On tomorrow's Running to Win, Erwin Lutzer brings part 1 of The Final Battle, what the Bible reveals about the climactic series of end-time events yet to come. We at Moody Church believe this 8-part series will help you understand God's overall plan for the human race. What is God Up To can be yours on CD as our thank you when you give a gift of any amount to support Running to Win. For details, call 1-800-215-5001. That's 1-800-215-5001. Online, go to offerrtw.com. That's offerrtw, all one word, .com. This is Dave McAllister. Join us tomorrow for our next edition of Running to Win.